Wait a minute. Tannehill, Josh is going. Tannenbaum gave Tannehill that contract. Greer shipped him out. Oh, why is somebody blaming Greer? There, you run your mouth and you really don't know, really your mouth from your ass is really what we're about to say, because you think like Greer drafted Tannehill and gave him the contract, and Greer signed Sue and all those. Greer was here. He doesn't. He didn't make any of the decisions. And I've explained this over and over and over again. Since he took over and all the things he's done, look how Greer is doing it, and look how it's been done the last 20 years. Does it resemble anything like what Greer's done? No. Did anybody tear it all the way down to the bone like Greer did? No. Did anybody trade off all their bad contracts, cut them, get rid of them, and load up on picks like Greer has? No. Has any of the GMs over the last 20 years say, I get my second rounder, I'll trade it for 2 second rounders so I can try to see if this quarterback works? Has anybody done that? No. Over the last couple of years, do they sign guys before their contracts are up, or do they wait till their contracts are expiring and then when they're facing free agency they try to sign them? What has Greer done the last year here? Signed all these guys before their contracts are up. Notice how everything that Greer has done, it doesn't resemble anything that the Dolphins have done the last 20 years. And he's been here, 16 or whatever, which tells you that he had no power. All he could do is give a scouting report, and that's it. The GM is going to make all the decisions, whether it's Tannenbaum, whether it's Ireland, whether it's whoever was here, Saban, Randy Mueller, you name it, whoever was here, they made those decisions. But it's funny how everybody kept that guy around. Why do you think they kept him around? Because obviously he must know something. And then if you look at what he's done, they cleared out everything and won 5 games, and he hired that coach. And then, unlike other guys that we've had in the past that have their own egos, Jeff Ireland, Nick Saban, like Randy Mueller would come in with his draft reports, and then Saban would pull out his own draft reports, pretty much neutering everything Randy did. Meanwhile, here's Chris Greer. He takes over and he says, let me bring in more brains into the operation. You know, here's a guy that did a great job in Oakland finding Derek Carr and Khalil Mack and straightening out their cap issues. Let me bring in Reggie McKenzie. And then he says, you know what? Marvin Allen is available. This guy's been a part of what they've built in Atlanta and Kansas City, and those two teams have a lot of talent over the last few years. Let me bring Marvin Allen in. So Chris Greer also doesn't have the ego of saying, no, only my word counts. No, let me make my organization better by bringing in other people who are really smart and know this stuff. I'm just wondering, where do you get your ideas that you think Chris Greer is terrible? Because if you watch what the man's done in the last year, no GM in the last 20 years has done anything that resembles this. It's not even close. It's completely out of characteristic for the Miami Dolphins. In fact, some of you out there, you were disappointed that they gave a cold shoulder to Tua. You wanted them to put their arms around Tua and tell him, yeah, we love you. Just like Ron Rivera put his arm around Tua and said, nah, we like you. Maybe we'll bring you in to compete with Haskins. And then that way he and his agent tell everybody, hey, they love me. They want to bring me in to compete with Haskins. That's what you want. You want the old Dolphins that used to talk crap and tell everybody what they're doing and give everything away because that's how they used to do it. But you watch Chris Greer, everything's quiet. They're not saying anything. They're going in the Heat direction of Pat Riley. Says nothing. You know nothing. When you know something, when the Heat tell you you know something. But no, go ahead. You keep thinking that that Chris Greer was the problem the last 16 years. Yeah, he made all those decisions. I mean, seriously, some of you sometimes, you know what? Sometimes take a step back and think for yourselves and actually look at what's going on and then assess it. And when I tell you everything that he's done, you got to look back and go, damn, no, you're right. Like the Dolphins have never done things like this in the last 20 years. Of course not, because Chris Greer has never been in charge. So his team wins 5 games with a rookie coach, and they have less talent than everyone else in the NFL. No, but you keep thinking that he's a bad GM because his picks haven't even taken over yet. I just, Preston Williams found in street free agency by Chris Greer. I don't know. How many times do they do that here nowadays? The last time I saw that was, what's it called?
Once upon a time, maybe Wes Welker?
No. Well, yeah, that was years back, but just recently, he's in Buffalo now. He's a personnel guy in Buffalo. He was here as our GM. I'm brain farting now, but he found Damian Williams in street free agent. He drafted Ajayi. He drafted Devontae Parker. And he actually had Hickey, Dennis Hickey. Dennis Hickey's draft was actually really good, and they got rid of him. He actually did a good job. If you look at his draft, it wasn't a bad draft. He actually had a really good draft overall. I mean, some of you out there, man, you gotta look at things a little bit more and be a little bit more open to what's going on. This is a different Dolphins team, man. It's not even close.